Welcome. Thank you for joining this session on fantastic free multimedia resources. I'm going to be covering probably about 6 or 7 topics, and each one of those can be an easy an-hour presentation on their own. So this is going to be directed by the participants, and depending on what you want to know more about or what resources you're interested that you'd like to know more about, please just turn on your mic and let me know and ask those questions, and then I'll dive a little deeper into those websites. And so please, I interact, ask questions, participate. This is not formal. This is very informal, and I want everyone to feel very comfortable because I want you to learn and feel like you're benefiting from this session. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. All right, so this is a presentation that Erin asked me to do about a month ago after we were talking about some of the things that I like to teach in my courses. So I have a PhD in educational technology, and I've been teaching in higher ed for over 10 years now. Wow. So the time sure flies. And during that time, I've really had lots of wonderful opportunities for developing my media skills and trying to find resources that are free for teachers and that are legal to use that are under Creative Commons license. And if you're not familiar with Creative Commons, I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. All right, so this is the outline for today's presentation. I'll be talking about the high quality, fantastic, wonderful resources. We're going to talk first about some templates that I use for presentation, different kinds of presentations. Google Slides, PowerPoints are typically the most common. Then I am going to be sharing with you several websites that provide professional quality photos, graphics, and even video clips, clip art, things like that, everything that we're looking for. I used to go to Google Images first. Now I go to Google Images last. Like, that's my last resort. And if you're still going to Google Images first, then you need to pay attention and ask lots of questions on that section. Then I'm going to be talking about OER and on free lesson plans, which is where this presentation got its impetus, about open access resources and this national movement that we have. Then I'll be sharing with you some of my favorite graphic design websites and tools. These are my go-to whenever I'm making presentations, designing graphics, and I use graphics a lot, and I teach online as well as face-to-face, and I use them in my blended classrooms and for all different occasions. We're going to touch a little bit on VR and AR. This is an area that's really taken off, and it's very expensive. So if you ever looked into trying to do drones or purchase robotics, apps cost money, augmented reality. And so there's a couple different things, and some of you might already be familiar with a few of them, which have been out for a little while. Infographics, I will touch on. Infographics are fantastic, and they are one of the best new digital mediums that we have, especially for teaching informational content. And so if you have students that struggle with informational text, having them design infographics and you using infographics in your lessons is a really strong and powerful strategy. And then some social media tools. And I know with public school, there's lots of limitations on social media tools, but there's ways to use it if you're still teaching remote or online, and even face-to-face. So we're going to go over that and see where we are. Okay, so Creative Commons, this is taken from their website. So it's explaining what Creative Commons actually is. And so hopefully this is going to become a very common term in your vocabulary, because this is teaching digital literacy and digital citizenship skills. And so if you're modeling digital citizenship and using sources that are under the Creative Commons license, then you are doing your job correctly. So as educators, as instructors, as leaders, any creators of content, whether it's in print or it's digital, we need to be responsible, and we need to do our best to be able to find resources that are open under copyright law. So Creative Commons is a global nonprofit organization that enables sharing and reuse of creativity and knowledge through the provision of free legal tools. Their legal tools help those who want to encourage reuse of their works by offering them for use under generous standardized terms, those who want to make creative uses of works, and those who want to benefit from the symbiosis. Their vision is to help others realize the full potential of the internet. CC has affiliates all over the world who help ensure their licenses work internationally and to raise awareness of their work. Now, Creative Commons and OER and open access all kind of work together. So Creative Commons is, again, open access. It's free content, free material that anybody can use for any purpose. It can be for business and it can be for education. So any purpose. Open access, you might have heard of that a little bit more. There's lots of professional journals now. And there's even more textbooks coming out. I think if I didn't include Merlot, but there's a couple different websites where you can find free open access textbooks if you're trying to find solutions to save your students money. So open access, what this movement is because researchers and authors, they are more concerned about disseminating their work and sharing their knowledge versus publishing within a journal that charges money to download an article. So if you've ever tried to do some research for a project, you found an article, you're like, oh, this is great. And then you click on it and it's, oh, we want $45. And you're just like, no way. I think we've all probably experienced that when we've had a class or two and we're trying to do some research. So more and more professionals in all fields, not just in education, but in social sciences and regular sciences, they are they're creating open access journals, peer reviewed journals, and they're becoming more accessible with high quality peer reviewed work. And so there's lots of databases available now to find open access, so you can access high quality stuff, because honestly, one library probably doesn't have the budget to have memberships on everything that every professor wants at that institution. And so open access is a nice solution. Google Scholar, I know everyone's heard of that. That's okay, but again, it's not a complete database. So it doesn't search all of the other open access journals necessarily. And so again, I don't always go to Google Scholar first, I might go to it last. Let me click quickly on this link here. So this talks about the Creative Commons affiliates and the international licenses and the work that they're doing, the licensing suite. So that's what that link just has some explanation there for that. Okay, so our next topic are presentation templates. So hopefully you like the template that I'm using for this presentation and you find it engaging and colorful and really professional. I love using Google Drive. It is my go-to for when I'm creating anything or doing any work, but the Google Slides templates are boring and they're not really creative. And about a year ago, I was attending a presentation from a colleague, and she had this beautiful template, and I was like blown away because she was presenting on Google Slides, and I was like, that's not one of their templates. So I found out through her about Slides Carnival, and then I found Slides Go, and then I've discovered Slides Mania. So let me show you some of these sites. See, Slides Go. So now when I require my students to create a Google Slide presentation or PowerPoint, you can use these templates on either platform. I require them to use a template from one of these sites because it's under the Creative Commons and they're professional, they're high quality, and they have structure, and they have lots of great resources, which I'm going to show you. So they're all pretty much the same. So here's Slides Carnival, and you can just kind of browse, and they have like all of PowerPoint and Google Slide themes. and you can search by style, by topic. So this is another thing that's nice. The Google slide templates, there's only, I don't know, maybe a dozen to choose from, and they're not thematic. They're very generic. So if you're doing a presentation about nature or science, maybe you want a template that has plans or beakers and you know, and science equipment or something like that. If you're doing something in math or in statistics, you want something that's a little bit more professional, or in business. They have them for personal things, for weddings and Halloween and holidays and fun stuff too. So let's just, because Halloween's around the corner, let's go ahead and search. Oh, and I did want to show you that their license is down here. Copyright, let's see. Download your presentation as a PowerPoint or use it online as a Google Slides theme. 100% free, no registration or download limits. That I love. And they talk about, let's see a little bit more on their website, on their homepage, about under the Creative Commons license. So here's some of their fun templates for Halloween. And we'll just go ahead. This one looks pretty fun. So we're just going to do, I'm just going to show you a preview so you can see a quality of their work and how easy it is to copy a template over. So if you're familiar and you know how to use Google Drive, then this is just, it's super simple. So here it talks about, you know, who designed it, just a little bit of what the template has, the, you know, the customizable icons, 25 different slides. So what I like to do is to preview it first. And on this page, you can just click through. So that way you don't have to download it or copy it over to your Google Drive yet. You can see the quality and the beauty of the template before, you know, or to see if you even like it at all. And so this one has 30 different designs here. So we'll just kind of go through it. And I want you to look at where, you know, the graphics are, where the text is. They have backgrounds that have a full photo. They have lots of tables and charts and maps. So, you know, if you're doing something that has to do with maps, they provide map templates. Large fonts. Lots of good structure here as far as designing your own presentation. So it's not too much text on the slide. So you're focusing more on the big concepts and not trying to cram a lot of language on a slide. So if this was a template that you decided to use, you can just go ahead and click on Google Slides, and you're probably familiar with how to make a copy. So now it's processing up here. So we'll just give it a second. And then it's saved in my drive. And up here where the folder is, if you're familiar with Google Drive, you know, you can click on that and move it to one of your other folders so it can be in the right place for you. I want to show you down here. So we kind of look at some of these slides, but they have tables and charts, like I said, that you can choose from. And then all of their templates have these fun slides that has an iPhone, an iPad, and a computer screen, and you can choose the graphic that goes inside of them. So I'm sure you might know how to do this. You right click, replace, and then you can search for, we'll just say Halloween. And we can just replace it with something like that. So super simple, okay. But, you know, so if you're having students do a desktop project, so they have these really fun graphics that you can personalize. They have the conclusion slide, so you have your contact information. And then this is what I really like down here is that they have all of these icons that if you want to, you can copy them. And so let's just take this apple and we'll copy it. And lots of diagrams, infographics, and other additional icons that you might want to use that fit in with the theme. And then we can go back to here. And you have the icon, okay, that you can size. That didn't go very well. But they also gave examples of, you can change the color of it. So if maybe you want the red apple, and then you can change maybe the line and have it pop out or something like that. So you don't have, so even though it's white, you can change the color and the line, and you can layer them. See how they give examples here. And so, I mean, these templates are just really good because they give you lots of ideas of how to make your own presentations really stand out. And you can personalize them. So that's why they're all white here, because they expect you to probably change the color. Then they have here some just fun extra graphics that they provide. So for me, like, this is time saving, and that is huge for everybody who who's so busy, and you're like, oh, I got to make a presentation. It's going to take, 3 or 4 hours. If you know where to go to start and you have good resources, it doesn't need to take that long. But I'm trying to show how great just Slides Carnival is, and Slides Go and Slides Mania are very simple, or very similar. So here again, at the end slide, they have their license. So you can keep this and make it part of your presentation, or you can delete. So, but when I finish with any presentation, I just go through and delete anything that I don't use. And if you have to add slides, they all match. You can choose any of these different types of templates or of these pages to add into your presentation. It's so nice. So yeah, I don't do the Google Slide templates. I do Google Slides, but I get my templates somewhere else. Slides Go is very similar. So, and you can just create an account if you want. But again, really fun, nice looking professional slides, and they are free. Okay, and this is a free print company, and this is one of our graphic free resources that I'm going to talk about a little bit later on. But there's their copyright. So everything is free, and that is a big deal. We do not have money to purchase and have memberships on every single website that we would like to. So Slides Go, very similar. We can click on a topic. And again, here's Thanksgiving, and you can just click through and check out the layouts. And just imagine if you wanted to design something like this on your own, it would take so much time. It's so much time. And so here you go, fantastic, beautiful templates ready to use. You can just copy them over. And then Slides Mania, again, is a similar one too. Free creative PowerPoint templates and Google Slide themes, much more than presentations. So again, lots and lots of good resources here. Okay, and everyone, we're always making presentations, so those are some of my favorite resources. All right, so this is my quote. I didn't grab this anywhere, but I like the templates because templates provide you not only with a professional finished product, many also provide outlines and additional graphics to enhance every slide. So I did review that and all of the different resources, just the one template provides from Slides Carnival. All right, so these are my favorites. So for graphics and videos. So I make a lot of videos because I teach online and I teach educational technology. I use graphics in my LMS. I use graphics when I'm grading. I use graphics in when I'm creating a lesson. Just all over the place. And you want your products to look professional, but Google Images really isn't the place to go. And so I'm cutting your habit, your apron strings here. And we're going to go visit Pixabay. This is my first stop whenever I need to go find graphics. Okay. And I want you to see this: stunning free images and royalty-free stock. Okay. Now, what's your impression just from their homepage? Look at the quality of these graphics.
The color's beautiful.
Aren't they gorgeous?
They're gorgeous.
And so I can type in something. I can type in anything. We can type in autumn. Look at this. Okay. Aren't these beautiful? You don't find this quality of work on Google Images, and it's guilt-free. See, that's what's so great about it.
When you go to Creative Commons at Google, you barely get anything.
Or someone's
right
names on it. You have to,
Yep, and they have watermarks and all of that nonsense. So Pixabay and Unsplash. So this is what another thing I really like about Pixabay. So creating an account is free. The only thing they ask for you is to like upload maybe I think like 1 or 2 of your own photos. And I take pictures all the time on my camera. So I found just a couple from a recent trip I went on, and I added the tags so it's searchable, and I contributed. And so it's they didn't ask for a credit card. They didn't there's no free trial. And by creating an account, it saves you one step. So when you go to download a graphic, if you don't create an account, they ask you to like give credit or to maybe tip the photographer or something like that. And so it just kind of skips some of that stuff. But I wanted to show you when you click on a graphic, this is something else you're not going to find anywhere else. You can choose your graphic size. So if you're trying to find something for a wallpaper background for your computer, and you don't want to pay for those, I mean, but there's apps, but they'll charge you. And here you go. It's free. These are such high quality that if you're using Prezi, and if you're familiar with Prezi, how you can change the background on Prezi, but you needed a high quality graphic to do so, you can do that here. So you can choose whichever size that you want to download it, and it's yours. That's it. It's free. And so here's just a little bit of information of the contributor. And if you wanted to give him $1 to buy a cup of coffee to thank him for his work or not, then Shutterstock purchases their ad space from here. So the sponsored images are from over here on the bottom are usually from Shutterstock. So I don't want to pay. Shutterstock is something that you need a membership for, and it's very expensive. So usually maybe an institution has a membership to Shutterstock. It's not really designed for individual memberships. So I kind of ignore that. But over here, Pixabay offers some related images. So if I wanted just something that had maybe a road in it, or, you know, just some different suggestions here. So you can right click, you can save the image. You can go to free download and change the size. You can change it that way. So, and I can do that. So this is saying thanks. That's what I was talking about. So you have a little bit of that, but it's really so nice. If you're teaching, like I teach, I'm always looking for technology graphics because I teach all sorts of media topics, and just really fun. Astronauts and laptops and cell phones. Now here's something else I want to show you. And when I do a review of Adobe Spark and some of the other graphic design websites where you can make videos, this is why this next little tip is important. It says photos right here, so you can look for photos, but you can also look for vector graphics, illustrations. So maybe something that was a little bit more clippy or cartoony looking. And music, video, sound effects. And I don't know what users are. Oh, well, maybe that's profiles. But they have video clips. Okay, so this is 20 seconds. This one's 17 seconds. This is 12 seconds. So when I'm creating videos, like Adobe Spark and some of these other free tools, you can upload a video, but I'm like, unless like what kind of videos, but if you look at the professional videos or commercials, there's people, there's movement, there's animation. So it looks less like a slideshow and more like an actual video. And so you can just play this here. And it's just a really fun clip. And I mean, what blows me away is that this content is free and you can download it for free, and then you can use it in other platforms and other programs for free. And it just really makes your work look amazing. So I didn't even know for a long time that I could even find videos here. One day I was like, oh, I wonder what the drop down menu has. Yeah. All right, so I know I'm going really quickly. Are there any questions so far or anything? We're good. All right, Unsplash again is my next stop. So if I can't find something I'm looking for, I've used Pixabay so much now that I feel like I need some new variety. And so I might go to Unsplash. So here it is, the internet source of free usable images powered by creators everywhere. So very similar to Pixabay is Unsplash. And they have awards and all these fun things, but just beautiful professional graphics for all different purposes. We can try Halloween. And oh my goodness, who doesn't love a puppy in a costume, right? So I don't know what this is. Let's see. No, we don't want a membership here. All right. So this actually took me to iStock, and I didn't realize I was leaving the Unsplash community. I did not realize I was doing that. But oh, browse images on iStock. Okay, here we go. I see I'm used to the Pixabay where there's contents first and the advertisers are at the bottom. So here's their content. Download for free. And you can change the size if you want something small, medium, or large. Okay. And just, fun, great resources here. So Unsplash. And then I also have, I think we're all familiar with Flickr. Start for free. Flickr has some free content and some paid content. I don't use Flickr very much. Here's the Creative Commons link. And so they do have their own database. Up here at the very top is search for Creative Commons images. So they talk a lot about here on their homepage, and you're like, okay, this is great, but like, where's your stuff? Well, it's up at the very top. So you got to go up to the very top. There's the use and remix. We're just going to do a generic Halloween search. You can filter by license or public domain over here. And let's see if we have images, audio, and video clips. And I would think Halloween, they would have something here. Unless it's just being slow. Here we go. And sometimes the internet runs slowly because you're sharing screen. Anyway, I don't use Creative Commons that much because for me, if it's doing stuff like this, I'm like, bye. But it's there, and usually, it'll have stuff and it'll pop up. Free Pick, another one. And so we already saw that they were contributors of, what was it, Slides Media. So there, that looks familiar from some of our templates. Again, fun stuff. Okay. And Create Without Limits, gain access to over 17 million premium resources. So they have some memberships. So they have a free and then paid accounts. But see, this is why, do you see why I go to Pixabay first? Because it doesn't ask me for any money ever, unless, buying somebody a cup of coffee. That doesn't bother me. And then Pexels. This one looks a lot like Pixabay and Unsplash to me. So there's another resource for free stock photos, royalty-free images, and videos shared by creators. So you don't have to go to Google Images anymore. You can't, there's times where I do, but it's not my first stop at all. Okay, so lesson plan databases. So welcome to OER Commons. OER Commons stands for Open Access Resources. And this is a topic that every teacher preparation program should be teaching the new teachers. When I'm teaching undergraduates, way too often I ask students, well, where'd you get your ideas? Or you need to create a lesson on this topic. Where are you going to go? Like, oh, we're going to go to, Pinterest, or Teachers Pay Teachers. And I'm like, Pinterest is okay. It's social bookmarking. And I go there and I waste a lot of time because the links don't go back to the right place. The content is all messed up. It's not easy to access. And after 15 seconds, if it doesn't open for me, I'm out of there. So open access is a movement now, OER Commons, where teachers are encouraged to use the content, evaluate it, rate it, and especially to contribute to it. OER Commons provides even badges for completing lesson evaluations and other professional tasks. So I've had my students create accounts on OER, and they had to earn some badges so they had to evaluate and contribute a lesson. And I think it's something that everyone should do. So we're going to show you a little bit about what it is. Okay. So if you've never heard of OER before, spread the word. The worldwide OER movement is rooted in the human right to access high quality education. This shift in educational practice is not just about cost savings and easy access to openly licensed content. It's about participation and co-creation. Open educational resources, or OER, offer opportunities for systemic change in teaching and learning content through engaging educators in new participatory processes and effective technologies for engaging with learning. So they have a PDF here if you want to download and share that maybe with others in your building about what OER is. Open education practice. Okay, I mean, this is a big movement right now. And so they talk about how to get started with OER and some of their partners. Okay. Now, OER, this is their homepage, explore, create, collaborate. So if you are trying to spice up a lesson, or this is definitely for K-12, and I think there's some higher ed. Let me check your education level. So they have career, technical, graduate, professional, college, community college, adult education. So they have every educational level that you can think of, but this provides lesson plans, and they're standards based. And okay, so let me just, before I get ahead of myself, it's a national database, and within the OER Commons, they have hubs. So some states have really jumped on board with this and provide a hub or a place where teachers in their state can go to first, because lots of different states might have their own standards for reading or math or science or something like that might be a little bit different than the national standards or whatever have you. Or they want their teachers to go there first to find content that's maybe more along the lines according to their curriculum. So Iowa, OER, Alabama, Caribbean, which is cool. So we have the international, Common Core, cyber citizenship. Here is UC Davis. We have higher ed, Idaho. This is Maryland's, and I was part of that for a little bit. North Carolina and Nebraska, another university one. A lot of these I don't necessarily know. There's Open Illinois, Oregon State. So this is the open textbooks I was talking to you about earlier, and open stacks. So not a ton, but the whole idea is to contribute more. So there's more content available, high quality, good content available for everyone. But if you're looking for maybe a textbook, there's some options there. Pennsylvania, we passed the ends. So see how New York isn't on here? So New York needs to get on board. And I'm not sure who the state ed tech organization is, but maybe Erin can put me in touch with them. But definitely we should be having our own hub here, so the New York teachers can contribute to it, and then they can go there first when they're, so it's a way to share, because especially for new teachers, or if you have a new prep, like, oh my gosh, I've never taught 7th grade language arts before, and I have to, create all of this new lesson plans. That's a huge task for a teacher to do that. And it just being able to go somewhere to say, okay, I know my state, this is our curriculum, and this is, what we teach, where you can go first to find resources that are shared and contributed by other teachers in your state or in your district, but there needs to be more of that because we have to use our time smarter and not use more time to reinvent something where you can find a free lesson plan. So let's go ahead and look at how to use this. So if we're looking for, let's say, I just went to Salem, Massachusetts last weekend. Nobody warned me how crazy it was, by the way. It was crazy, like bizarre. So let's see, we're going to say we're going to teach the Scarlet Letter, for example. And we're going to do English language arts, and we're going to do high school. And here, look at how you can even search for your state standards. I mean, that is really, hopefully that's impressive to you. It's impressive to me that if I, but that's why we need every state to participate. So you can look by, by standards. So we're going to hit search and see what comes up. So right now, there's only one lesson that popped up, but that doesn't necessarily mean if I didn't go into a hub that more options wouldn't have opened up. And this is a lesson that somebody shared from Read, Write, Think. You can view the resource. Let's see if we can find a better example of it. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to teach about, let's see, grammar. Okay. Methods of teaching grammar. See, do you see how they have the stars here? And this is what I was talking about, how they want teachers to take the time to evaluate and rate them, because this is a big part of our online communication right now is, we go to a restaurant because it's 4 stars. We book this hotel because it has 4.5 stars. We on Amazon, the stars make all the difference, right? So, and so some of these, I'm trying to see, I don't see any with
Gina,
any ratings here. So again, this is a movement. This is trying to get some steam going. Let's just check.
Gina,
Yeah.
can you put in lessons for the giver on the high school level?
Yeah, let's go. Let me go
Thanks.
back. Let's try high school and we'll search there. Okay, so examining utopia and dystopia in the giver. English language arts, grade 11, name that theme, short story discussion. So let's click on this one. And it's endorsed by the OER. It has some tags here. So let's go ahead and view the resource. So it's been linked to an outside site. So here's a resource for the giver. Let me go back and look at the other one. I'm trying to find one that was contributed by a teacher. This one has had 200 views, 8 saves on it. That one is actually linked to the Common Core. Let me go back. This one has a little bit better information. So it's linked to the Common Core standards. So that's what we like to see in the description. Nobody's evaluated it yet, and you can share it on Google Classroom. So here's the overview. So this looks more like what a teacher contributed. And so here's the resources there. Open notebook. So some of this I'm not sure what open notebook means, but let me see if it'll sign me in and I can show you a little bit about what. All right, so let's go to, so I've contributed 2 lessons, not a lot. And let's see my profile. I'm trying to see where I've earned some badges. wonder why that link's broken there. But you can contribute as an open author, create a group, submit from the web. So that's where some people link to the website that had lesson plan resources and things like that. But there's a whole lot of resources, and you just kind of need to take a little bit of time to kind of look through here. They have for STEM, Common Core, different collections, your state hubs, you know, just trying to find different lessons and different ideas. So again, some are better than others. So it does take some filtering to go through, but the more we contribute to this, the better it's going to be. And so be on the lookout for OER resources. All right, so graphic design. So this is some of my favorite tools are Canva, Adobe Spark. And then I only mentioned Google Drawings because I think it's highly overlooked that when people open up Google Drawings, they don't really know all the tools and all the possibilities. But I don't think I'll take time today unless Christy or Aaron want to visit Google Drawings. But I want to visit Canva and then Adobe Spark. So Canva, I create content almost daily on Canva. And just from up here, so so Canva is a graphic design website where you can create presentations, you can create your own graphics, you can create videos, brochures, invitations. Oh gosh, let me see all the, marketing, book covers, flyers, digital posters, infographics, collages, like, concept maps, magazine covers. I mean, just look at all these calendars. You can design a calendar and print it for Christmas. Comic strips, that's kind of a fun activity to assign students to do. Create schedules. Just like, think of it, you can probably design it on Canva. Okay. Now Canva, the layout is really easy to learn, but the membership is really important. So Canva has a free membership, and they do not obligate you to pay for anything unless you want to. So I really like that because, again, there's only so many places you can afford to pay for memberships, and most other graphic design websites require a monthly membership. And the problem with that is it might be 3 or 4 months before I use that website again. And if I were using it every single day as part of my job or something, that might be different. But a lot of these websites, I might only use them once or twice a year for 1 or 2 different lessons. And I don't want to pay $8 or $10 or $15 for a monthly membership. So with Canva, you have a free membership, but then if there is a graphic or an upgraded feature that you want to include in your project, you only pay for that graphic. So you might pay $1 if you must have this upgraded graphic. And so I really like that because it respects that free membership status. So we're going to, let me just click on what they suggest for us. So we're going to do an Instagram post just because this is an easy graphic to model in the time that we have. And so here's the layout. Now, Pixabay, which I don't know if we're going to have time for it. I'm just going to keep this within an hour, Aaron, if that's okay, because I think, okay, yeah, even though I could go on and on and on, I think an hour is probably going to be all anybody wants to sit
Well,
through.
this is awesome though, Gina. It might be a small audience, but we're over here loving it.
Okay. Let me put the link to the presentation in the chat real fast before I forget. So let me do that. Okay. All right. So let me jump back here. Okay. So we're here now. Pixabay. I don't know if you've heard of Pixabay, but that's my go-to for creating infographics. And if there's time, I'll tell you all about Pixabay. And I assign students to use Pixabay to make infographics just because I like it so much better. the layout is very, very similar to Canvas. So they might be part of the same parent company or something like that. I don't know. But you have, you can search templates right here. So we have side navigation. So we have templates, elements, your uploaded media. There's my Bitmoji I was using on something, different standard text boxes, and then just fun, text. I believe you can customize these. Then, if you have logos, and then here you have all of these additional elements. You can link to your cloud accounts. You can embed videos from YouTube. So here's Pexels, Pixabay. Now you guys know what they are. See, you can have emojis, get QR code. If you're going to print this and you want someone to be able to scan a QR code, just lots of Giphy, whatever. But here's, you have charts and backgrounds, photos, like just so many more fun things down here in the options. But let's start up here at the top, and let's do, again, Halloween. And so you have all of these. Now these are just, even though they say Instagram, I don't use them for Instagram. I use them for my Blackboard. And so if I want to send a message out to students, yeah, you can type an email, boring, right? Or you can use multimedia. And recently I said, okay, whoever has their APA book, take a picture. You can, I gave my graduate students extra credit just to make sure they have their APA books. But I did it in a graphic that I'll show you when we're done. And it's a lot more visual. It's more exciting. Sometimes I create graphics to kind of like use as like stickers when I'm grading work, and I'll put it in the comments, these really fun graphics. So we'll say, hey, we're going to have maybe a Halloween party. So you can start here from one of their templates, or you can start from scratch. Now, doesn't that look good, right? So maybe we're doing a Halloween fundraiser at the school. Over here at the top is the file size, okay? And let's see, show rulers, grid imaging, so primarily, okay. Oh, resize. Okay, so this is actually really, really, really big. I mean, that's going to download as a really large graphic. And if you know anything about pixels, you can change it here to maybe have something a little bit smaller, 300 by 300 or something like that. But this is really nice to know, because if you have a graphic, say from Pixabay, which I've done, I've downloaded my graphic from Pixabay and uploaded it here because I needed it something that was like maybe 2 inches by 2 inches. And it's like, how do you resize a graphic if you don't have that tool and whatever you're using? Sometimes you don't have that option. And so I can resize graphics here. So I wanted to show you that resize tool. So here we have all of these fun things. You can customize anything. You can, add, buy 3, get 1 free, $2. You can change the background. So like we can go, let's see, we're going to search photos and say we want to say pumpkin pie. All right, so maybe we're not doing a donut fundraiser. Maybe we're, having moms make pumpkin pies. Do you see where it says pro? This is what I was talking about, how if you want this graphic, so we're going to have it replaced just like that. See how easy that was? And then I would change the colors and things like that so it would pop out more, or move them so they're on a better background. But when you go to download, I have an upgraded account, but it would just ask you to pay like $1 for that. But over here, if I don't want to use an upgraded graphic, here's a free one. Okay. There's lots of free ones that are available. So, well, let's see, I guess not a whole bunch of pumpkin pie ones, but here's another free one. Okay, but you do, but it gives you that option beforehand. So you don't have that obligation of purchasing or upgrading your account. All right, so done. So here we have that cute graphic and you're like, oh my gosh, it doesn't show up on that the orange pumpkin. So up here at the top, we have animate, flip, crop, and there's the color. So you can, they're picking up colors within the graphic. So it's usually have 2 or 3 color suggestions here. I can, here's just the standard colors. And you can always go in on the internet and search, teal hex color and get that code and type the code in up here. So if you know a little bit about that, you can type in the specific code, because sometimes, like if you're making graphics for your institution, I know like the university will have specific colors that you use when you're making a presentation or representing their in any way. I don't know what all of SUNY's rules are. I'm just basing it on my other institutions where they have specific color codes when you're, using it in your PowerPoints or whatever, if you're going to go to a conference or whatnot. And so you can, type in that specific color. So then you have here elements. There's just so many fun things. So if I wanted to click on graphics and I can search for pumpkins, like, look at, they have some things that are even animated. I don't want the cupcake. Not that I would use this, but that might be a little fun, but that's a free graphic here. And all of these just cute, fun graphics. So if you're making a Halloween invitation or whatever you're doing, it's just, you can search by videos. They have little video clips. Okay, audio sounds. There's some Halloween sounds. Like, look at all the time that you're saving. I mean, yes, you can go to Pixabay. Yes, you can go to other places, but Canva, this is what, do you see why it's my go-to? Because of all of the resources, and they're free. A lot of them are free. And if I have to pay for something, it's just on an item by item basis. And, I can upload my own content here. I can have different text. So let me see if we can customize this one. So it says good. Let's see if we can do, look at that, good times. So you have that really fun graphic. And let me see, go back here. Get something that's just not so busy. So we still got our pumpkins that we got to get rid of it, or the donuts. But you can, these text boxes, so like all of these fun things, you can customize it and to have it say your own message. And I mean, look at how professional that is. I mean, it doesn't really fit with the other Halloween thing, but you get the idea that you can customize anything you want, and then have a really fun graphic that you can download and use in whatever kind of media, use in your Google presentation, use in lots of different ways. I'm going to end on Adobe Spark. And Adobe, if you've heard of anything about Creative Commons, it's a fantastic software package. It's very expensive, and you do need a really high skill set to be able to use most of those programs. And so if you're like, oh my gosh, I'd love to use Photoshop, I have no idea. This is their free product that they've designed for education. And if you're interested in digital stories, they have templates to make digital stories, videos. I make websites, presentations. So let me show you quickly a couple of things that I have on here. Again, so Adobe Spark and Canva are my top 2 graphic design places, and I'm on them, both of them, every single day for something. So these are some videos that I've just recently made. So they have, like, again, Instagram stories, kind of the social media type of fun graphics, Facebook posts, photo collages, presentations, slideshows. So these are videos. They basically have 3 products. They have graphics, they have videos, and they have a web website or web page that can be used as a presentation. So within those 3 products, there's like, I don't know, hundreds of different projects that you can make with the video. Let me show you something that I made. And we're going to go ahead and play this one. This is just like a minute and a half introduction to Adobe Spark. Let me show you this real fast. This is a tutorial. Okay, so I know that was quick. There was a lot of information there, but their products are fantastic. So here is, we're going to we're going to go ahead and we're going to play this real fast. Let's see. Download. I should have had this link ready. I apologize. We're probably not going to have time for it. Let's see. Okay, we're going to share it. This is what I want. Okay. We're going to, we're just gonna see. I don't think I've updated. I don't know why it's saying that. Okay. Okay, so all right, so you can narrate with this, which I didn't do it on this one. I've done it on others. That's a big deal, especially if you're a teacher or if you're assigning students to make a video and you want them to hear it or hear their voice, or if it's a story. It's very simple to use. I don't know if you noticed in their 1-minute video, they don't have a lot of buttons and they don't have a lot of menus. And for those of us who like lots of options, it's not great, but for those of us who like things simple, it's perfect. They have, you know, different templates and layouts you can choose from, and they have a lot of free content like I showed you, photos. It also pulls photos from Pixabay and Unsplash, so you can use it right from the same portal, the same, you know, the design space. And let's see. So let me go in here and show you just very, very quickly. They have so many different templates. I mean, it's just beautiful. And we'll go ahead and just use a graphic. But like I said, their videos, they have digital story templates. So if you're big on digital stories, you can also, you can use their templates for that. So they have just lots of photos, icons, designs, logos, free things to use. Over here are their other tools, animation, redesign. You can create a template from, and I know this is really quick because we're about out of time. Let me show you a video, let's see, that I was working on. Okay, so about digital citizenship, this is the preview. Now the share is really important. Not a lot of video creating tools will allow you to actually download the file afterwards. And so that's a big deal, especially if you want to make sure you have a copy that you can show offline without the internet. if you wanted to save it on your cloud drive, you can do that. But that's also important because if you want to upload it to YouTube, you can do that. So I've made videos on Adobe Spark, even though they give you a URL that you can share publicly. Some teachers and some professionals have their own YouTube channel, which if you have a Google account, you have a YouTube channel. Maybe you didn't know that, but you do. And you can upload your own content. So if you want to direct traffic and have all of your videos in one place, you can create them on something like Adobe Spark and then upload them to your YouTube channel and have that URL. Also, like other products, like for example, if you want to make a video here, upload it to YouTube, then you can go to your Google slide presentation. It will embed a YouTube video, but it needs that YouTube URL. And you can't use the URL that Adobe Spark gives you. So there's little tricks like that if you want to make a video and put it in a presentation, but you have to have it downloaded so you can upload it to YouTube. You can post it directly to social media. You have a sharing link and you can collaborate on this. So you can add an editor. So if you are making it with a team of teachers or you're putting students into groups, then it's probably best in groups of two. I'm not sure, like, because it only allows one person to edit at a time, which makes sense. It is a video and you can't have too many people working on it or have their hands in the mess at the same time. But they have different templates, and again, they're very simple. So on each time you have a new slide, you can just choose from they don't have a lot. Again, it's their free product, so there's not a ton of choices. And you just look for the plus. Wherever the plus is where you have options. So over here, you can add a photo and you can upload or take a photo, turn your camera on, find free photos, use Adobe Spark, Creative Cloud, connect to your cloud drive. So I'm going to go find free photos and we're going to talk about, let's see, we're going to see online because it's about digital citizenship. And so maybe I want this one and well, it's online shopping there. Maybe something like that. Okay. And then over here, you just click and you can talk, you can start typing. Okay, yada, yada, yada. But
Can I import my own pictures? Do you know?
yes. So if I want to do photo here, it had upload photo. So I can go to, like, that's the one we just downloaded from Pixabay. You can just, it needs to be, accessible on your computer. It also has an app. So there's Adobe Spark, Adobe Page, they have apps. So if you want to do it on an iPad or a smartphone, I edited like on the go because I had to be somewhere, but I opened up my project and I kept working on it on my smartphone. So there was our own picture that we uploaded. Okay, and then you can go back to layout and maybe, add a caption at the bottom and put some text in here. I talked about how the template can be used as a digital story and it provides an outline. So here it has this explanation, you try a summary. This one is probably more kind of like promoting an idea, kind of an outline, but they have, when you have time, you really need to check out Adobe Spark here. You won't regret it. The music here, they have all this free music that will be the background music, or you can add your own music. And then here's the narration. So it'll play music automatically, or you can turn off the music. And then you can just click here and you just narrate. And I've used this a lot, and this is great for, like, especially if you're teaching language classes and you want them to speak in the foreign language or your ESL students to speak English. I think this is really important for especially elementary teachers that are creating videos that need to read it because their students may not have the reading skills yet to be able to read the content. So again, that's a really cool feature for me. That's why I like that option, because there's a lot of times where you do want to narrate and there's other times where you don't want to narrate. But you have that option. It's very easy here. So, I mean, I usually spend a whole hour, like I said, on each of these topics. And there's so much online now that's free and under Creative Commons and that are under open access, ThingLink, Nearpod, some free resources there. PictureChart is my infographic go-to, but you can only do like 5 free ones and then it wants to charge you. So that's not great. So you have to like delete your past work or download it as a PDF and then replace it. So, but their infographic tools are really, really cool. And then just some social media that we don't have time to talk about and things like that. So anyway, that is me, and that are just some fantastic free resources for multimedia, graphic design, just about anything that you can think of. So hopefully you enjoyed today's presentation, and thank you, Erin, for inviting me to present.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm sorry that more teachers didn't come because this was phenomenal. It would have gotten me very excited. And we're actually going to look at how to implement quite a few of these things.
Thank you. And thanks, Christy. I don't know, if you have any questions, but.
Yeah, so I don't know. If we can get people coming to these things, it would be really fantastic if we could have a session where we broke each one of those up and people could create lesson plans based on that.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
for new young professionals and teachers.
Yeah, so we're going to share this with the, we have a whole listserv of new teachers and we'll share it with them.
Okay. All
So
right.
it'll get out there, Gina.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I totally appreciate you doing this. I learned a lot.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Wonderful.
And then we have to get together and talk about some other initiatives.
Right. Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Grab a coffee or
I
some.
still want that maker space.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. You've got the space, so we need to do some making in it.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you so
it.
much.
Let me know if I can be of any help.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.